Scarlett Johansson has recently been confirmed, or rumors are that she's confirmed. So I don't know if that really is confirmed, but she's been
really
recently set.
Rumors.
It's like confirmed rumors. Like they say it's finalized, but they say that they haven't announced it officially yet. It's one of those things.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so Scarlett Johansson has been rumored to agree to a deal to join the Ghost in the Shell movie project. Now, if you don't know what Ghost in the Shell is, it is an anime series that had several movies. I think it started out as a movie in the early 90s.
It started out as, like, a comic book manga from,
yeah.
I think in the 80s. I think, like, really early on.
And
then
the movie came out in the early 90s, right?
95, I think, was the movie, and that was a really big deal for animation. They did a lot. They, like, pushed the bounds on a lot of things and did some new stuff.
Well, yeah, and it was one of the first big...
I thought it was a great movie.
And it was also one of the first big animes to ever hit America. That really kind of got us involved in some of that genre. Yeah, you had little cartoons like Voltron and stuff like that kind of anime.
You had stuff, but it did help push things more, like especially the darker, serious anime out there. But,
yeah, you had the Robotechs and stuff like that, but it was the TV shows. But yeah, so apparently she's kind of signed on for this project. Now, this project has apparently been backed by Steven Spielberg, so he's going to have some sort of producer cred to it. So, I mean, really any movie with Steven Spielberg in it usually is pretty darn good. I cannot think of a bad movie that he's done or produced. Yep,
he's been involved in kind of weakening movies lately, though.
Well, when the Indiana Jones, the fourth one.
Well, I mean, I was thinking like E.T. when he re-released it. It's like, let me just get flashlights and walkie-talkies.
Well, yeah, okay. So there, and they did some weird things, but most of the time when he's doing a new movie and not going back and rehashing a movie, he does it pretty well. And then they also have Rupert Sanders set to direct this movie. He's the same director from Snow White and the Huntsman. Now, I didn't think that was an amazing movie, but a lot of people really, really liked it. So I could see him doing
a decent movie. To be honest, I saw it. Whatever.
It wouldn't show up on the horrible movie of the week. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about it as one of my top movies of ever, but it was all right. It's all right.
Yeah. And just so you know, so far this movie has yet to be greenlit, so that means it's yet to be said, okay, we're doing it, go into production. But with names like Steven Spielberg already attached, with Rupert Sanders as the director, they have their leading actress, Scarlett Johansson, all set and ready to go. I'm thinking we're going to see a green light any day now. So it's looking really good. And I think they picked a really good person for this part because Scarlett Johansson, she's shown that she can do the action movies, and she can do them pretty well. So this is going to be a very, very action-oriented movie. I can't remember the lead character's name, but she plays a cyber cop. Well, not really a cyber cop.
Major. They usually call her Major.
Major, but it's set in Japan, so they're probably going to port that over to, I'm guessing, New York City, maybe futuristic LA, somewhere in there, a big metropolitan area, because it's set in Tokyo in the original series. But they play, I can't remember.
It's actually kind of a big deal for the series, like where it is, because they talk about America at times, and at that time, America's like a giant empire and things like that.
Well, that is true, yeah, but they probably won't get into all that because this is like about 100 years in the future. So World War III has happened. So yeah, in America, it didn't seem like Japan and America were on the same side in that. So yeah.
Yeah.
But so if you don't know anything about the Ghost in the Shell series, where it takes place, of course, Japan, like we were saying, 100 years in the future, and everybody in the whole country seems to have some sort of cybernetic implant, whether it be, a new arm, something attached to their brain. Lots of guys have eyeballs that have been replaced with cyber eyeballs. And some people, like the main character, Major, she has an entire android body, but her consciousness has been put into the thing. And that's where they kind of...
Yeah, and the big thing for that series, too, was always about, like, the reason they call it Ghost in the Shell is this idea of what separates a human being from a machine when so much of the human body is now a computer or a machine, whatever. It's fake. And she's kind of like that real challenge point where there's nothing of her that's from her original body. Like, her brain is prosthetic. There's a lot of people with prosthetic brains, even.
Yeah. But her consciousness is still her original consciousness.
Yeah, that's essentially what they decide on, is that a ghost, if whatever thing still has a ghost, is to be considered a human entity, right? But
And then they also go even further in the series, and they create a lot of AIs that they start, if they're like, okay, these are intelligent thinking things, and they blur those lines there in the TV show at least a couple times.
and the first movie, the big thing was there's this AI that seems to be going around, seems to have gained consciousness, the self-awareness, and so that's again like challenging like what's the difference between this AI now and a human? If he's self-aware, he thinks on his own, all these kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and the whole series seems to have three main story plots. One that Brendan just alluded to was the Puppet Master, which I don't think you should have told everybody that it was an AI, because I think you just ruined it for everybody.
That they say that they figure that out pretty early on.
Oh, do they? Well, okay, that was a big one, and goes around, and since everybody has these cybernetic implants in their brains, he can pretty much take control of them, make them do whatever he wants, or she, because it's an AI, so you don't really know, you can't assign a gender to that, I guess. And that's a big, again, like Brendan was saying, the conflict of what's human, what's not, this person, what can you do to who? And then there's another big story line, it's the Laughing Man, whereas a guy is trying to,
yeah, that's from the first
is he part of the Puppet
TV
Master
show.
one?
No, that's from the TV show Standalone Complex, and he creates the Standalone Complex, which is really cool. It's a great show. Like the Standalone Complex, that's probably my favorite one, is the Laughing Man storyline of all of them. But yeah, he like hacks everything.
Yeah, he hacks everything. He kind of lets people know that, hey, yeah, AIs kind of are becoming human and stuff like that, and we're becoming a little too dependent on stuff.
Yeah, is the dependence. It's like people can't see who he really is because everyone is so prosthetic, because everyone has these prosthetic brains. So if he can hack your brain, he can do whatever he wants. You can't see. He can make you see whatever he wants you to see.
Well, and that's why they call him the Laughing Man, is because you can't see his face. He just has a thing around his face because he hacks everybody. So it's pretty cool. And then the third storyline, which I hope this is my least favorite of them all, is the Individual 11, where they all try to. There's 11 people who are seemingly acting in random ways so that they don't, attract attention, but they're trying to bring down the whole system, pretty much, which was my least favorite, because that's the second season of Standalone Complex. But also they broke them down into 3 movies, so if you just wanted to watch the movies instead of the TV shows, where the TV show series has a couple, one-off episodes here and there. But that's pretty much what they do.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited for it. I really am. I think it's going to be a great one.
I'm always a little bit weary when you make the jump to a live action from something that's such a major anime. I mean, sometimes it can work, sometimes it really doesn't. Like if anyone knows about even the Dragon Ball Z movie.
Okay. Don't bring the Dragon Ball Z into it, because that's a little bit different, because they have a movie format that they can kind of steal from with this one. That one was a giant TV show, and then they decided, hey, we want to take nothing from the source material from the TV show, name the characters the same names, and ruin everything else. That's what they did with that one. Okay, I'm not going to go for that one.
It's also like that. It's going to have to be great special effects at this point, because it's high tech. But I think they could probably pull it off.
Oh yeah, I think nowadays we can. They sure can. No problem there.
Spielberg's an interesting one on this. Like, he obviously knows how to make great movies that way. It seems like he's been into just porting these foreign movie ideas over, because he did Old Boy a couple years back, right? Or maybe like last year, which was a Korean movie.
That was Spike Lee.
I'm sure. I thought no, but not that he directed. I thought Steven Spielberg was involved though.
I don't know. I know Spike Lee directed. I don't know if he was involved producer-wise, but. I mean, Spielberg is just, he's out there just looking at all the best ideas. He just can go around and say, hey, I like that idea. I'm going to take that. Hey, that looks like a good movie. I can do that too. I mean, he's just got that eye. What's going to catch people? And it seems like right now Spielberg's in the part of his career where he wants to do something different every time he does a project. So, and he's always been pretty good with that throughout his career, but he's almost going farther out there to find something new and improved, or just different. Like he was doing video games a couple of years ago, so he's really just expanding his base. And so I guess this is the next frontier for him is he's like, okay, some animes would be cool. Let's change some of this, because a lot of those do have really, really cool stories. Don't get me wrong. When you watch an anime series, a lot of the times they have a really cool premise, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's translation, maybe it's just cultural differences, but 90% of the animes I've seen, when it's like, and when I say anime, it's like a 26 episode or 52 episode story arc. Usually they totally ruin the ending. I don't know why. It's very hard for them to get an ending right, but it seems like with this they're really trying. I mean, Ghost in the Shell had a very good ending, so picking a total good complete one and doing it. So I'm guessing you were doing a little research there, Brennan. You found out if you did do it.
Yeah. Early on, there was talk about Spielberg directing Oldboy. And there was also rumors that Will Smith might be the star. But it looks like later on in the development that was dropped.
Yeah, well, that was still a good remake. I thought it was pretty good. But let us know what you think. Are you excited about the Ghost in the Shell movie? Do you think Scarlett Johansson's the right one to do it? Hit us up, comments down below, of course, at What's My Face on Twitter, Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us.